Eliza McCartney, Lievin 2. Congratulations, Eliza. 4.84. That is the highest recorded jump so far, any female athlete with the pole vault. So that's a hell of a start to the year.
It is a good start to the year, although I feel like I should caveat with that at this time of year they get broken all the time. But it's really cool to be able to hold it, even if it is just going to be for a short time.
So what exactly is the meet that you did this in?
Well, this was over in Lievin in France, which in France they really actually do love their indoor competitions, and particularly pole vaults. So it was one of the Continental Tour A-level meets or gold meets. So pretty big competition for the indoor circuit, and a really great opportunity to jump with some of the best vaulters in the world.
So was everyone that you're going to be competing against at the Olympics was there?
Well, no, not everybody. We were missing some Americans. We were missing some of the other top athletes, like Nina Kennedy from Australia. So no, it wasn't what is likely to play out at, for example, the Olympics. But it was still a really strong field, and more than that, it was a strong field, and a few vaulters actually brought a pretty amazing jumps. So it was actually a really nice opportunity, because in a couple of weeks we have our World Indoor Championships, and I'm assuming the field's going to be a little bit like that, but probably a bit better.
In terms of, what you've been jumping in practice and jumping in training and what you're targeting, is this kind of ticking all the boxes that you want to be ticking right now?
I think it's ticking more boxes than I was expecting, to be honest. It's much more than I expected this early in the year, because as everyone knows, it's a big year ahead. And not only do we have the Olympics coming up, but as I just mentioned, we have our World Indoor Champs, which only happens every 2 years. So it's a pretty big year for us. And I just feel like I'm progressing really, really nicely, just as we want. I've got plenty of time ahead for the rest of the year. And basically what we've been working on in training has just been coming out in competitions so well, and it's always really exciting when that happens. It's what you aim for, but it doesn't always happen. So it's just been a really great month of training and competitions, and just is starting to show, which is awesome.
How important is it to you to be feeling really good about this? And when we spoke last year, everything that you've gone through and the injuries and everything, and where it leaves you, and then rebuilding that confidence, and not only being able to jump where you want to jump and how high you want to jump, but actually winning.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't win things very often, I have to say.
Right.
It's a little bit shocking sometimes. I obviously I win things occasionally, but particularly in this sort of field overseas and big competitions, I don't tend to win things. And so it was actually a really lovely, just cherry on the top to have that win. But of course it's not, well, people see it differently, but I don't see winning as necessarily the ultimate goal or outcome of a competition, particularly when you're building over a whole year. So it was just a really lovely kind of cherry on top. But these things don't always you're working on a whole lot of things in a competition, so there's a lot of other focuses that we were trying to tick as well.
Eliza McCartney with us, a 4.84 to triumph at the World Athletics Indoor Tour Gold Meet in France over the weekend. Look, part of it is that I know that it's a solo sport where you're competing against yourself and setting your own standards, wanting to beat your own marks, but it's completely different also when you get into that competitive thing where you've got other athletes around you, and so trying to sort of keep them at arm's distance as well. Do you like that part of it? Do is how much of a buzz is that?
Yeah, I think pole vault, all field events, but pole vault in particular is certainly one of those events where you are competing against yourself. I jumped 84, and that was a season best for me, and that was really good, but someone could have easily also jumped that and then jumped 90 the next height as well. And I don't have any control over that at all. And it wouldn't change how I perceive how well I jumped. It would still be a great competition for me. I achieved what I wanted to. I walked away happy, whether I kind of end up ultimately winning or not. And I think, not everybody in field events, I suppose, thinks that way, but I certainly do, and pole vault lends itself to that. And I think you see it in the camaraderie between pole vaulters, both the men and women. Everyone gets along incredibly well. They're great friends. You spend a lot of time out there with each other, not to mention at the hotels and at meals and everything in between as well. And people are cheering each other on. They genuinely want to see people do well. So it's an interesting sport. And I mean, personally, it suits me. I really like that ability to get along with the people you're competing with, to kind of help raise the sport together rather than kind of have this, I don't know, just a rivalry that's just unpleasant for everybody. So, no, I really enjoy it.
I love the fact you see, you just say, I say 4.84, you just say 8.4. So when you say 8.4, there's a 4 before it. What say you were jumping fives? I mean, what would you do then? I mean, or is it just that everyone is just jumping 4 metres, something?
Well, yes, at the moment that's what's happening with the women, and the men are a little bit different. There's a lot of 5s, but there's also 6s now, quite commonly with the men. But yes, I guess that's just the slang of the sport. We just presume there's a 4 in front until someone gets back to 5 metres, I guess.
4.94 is your best. So what does it take to keep increasing that and getting another 10 centimetres out of you? Or is that not your target yet? I mean, because what I'm trying to sort of get to is how do you kind of taper it down and actually build so that you're absolute peak when it comes to Paris and the Olympics?
Well, yeah, that's the ultimate question, isn't it, for any athlete? It's trying to be at your peak at the major event of the year, and it's incredibly difficult to do, and it's why that it's, the best person on the day is the one that gets the medal, because it's, it's not easy, and it's not necessarily the best person in the world, although often it is, but you know what I mean? It's a real challenge in sport. And really at the moment I'm progressing quite as we would like. I think I actually just did a debrief with my coach today, Scott Simpson, and we were doing video analysis of all the jumps I did, and it was actually really exciting because some of the jumps actually weren't particularly good, and actually the 484 was possibly one of my least technical jumps, which is super exciting because I think if I could put everything together into one jump, it will go high. But right now there's kind of fragments across the whole competition, so I think that'll be the thing we're working on is consistency with every jump from here on, because I think all the pieces are actually there. And again, the challenge of sport, particularly a technical event, is bringing that all together at the same time. And it's hard to do, and that's why it's a hard sport.
Well, a hell of a way to start the year. Fantastic news for you. Great story as well. And thank you again always for your time.
Oh, no, I'm always happy to talk to you.